Don't be intimidated by my superhero appearance. My name is Jen DeFlo, and I'm a modern superhero here to save the world from gender inequality. And this is my story. It all started back when I was a young child attending Green Tree Elementary School outside of Houston, Texas. I was constantly frustrated with people saying to me, Jen, that's a boy's toy. No, Jen, you can't play kickball. That's for the boys. No, Jen, only the boys are doing that activity. And I would always ask, why? Why can only the boys do this activity? And people would just say, that's the way it is. Go play with the girls. And I never thought that was a good answer. And then one day on the playground, a big bully named George was making all of the girls kiss the boys. And I said, I am not going to kiss a boy. And George punched me in the face. And I'll never forget that pain, my vision going black, blood spilling down my face. And I turned and ran into the building, into the bathroom, because I was not going to let George see me cry. And as I was running into the building, I ran through this weird vapor and started to feel really woozy. And then I got into the bathroom and I stared at myself in the mirror. And I had a giant green bow on my head. And I had a cut on the bridge of my nose, and I had blood just pouring down my face and destroying my dress that my mother had made for me. And as I stared into the bathroom mirror, all of a sudden, I got a glimpse of myself as a boy. And that was when I knew that I needed to fight to stop gender equality. But I was only 6, so what could I do? Flash forward to me in college. It was my last semester of college at the University of Georgia, and I was ready to apply for graduate school, and I marched into my mentor's office, Dr. Carl Rapp, and said, all right, Dr. Rapp, write me a recommendation for grad school. And he looked at me and he said, I just don't think that women should go to grad school. And I said, and he said, don't you want to start a family and don't you want to get married? And I said, I have gotten an A+ on every paper I've written for you and all the classes I have taken. You have said that I have superb ideas and I'm an excellent writer. What do you mean I can't go to grad school? And he said, I just don't think that it's a good place for women. So I went home and I was so frustrated. And as I sat there and just fumed and was so angry and thought about what he had said to me, that was when it happened. All of a sudden it happened again. I had become a male version of myself. And I went right back to Dr. Rapp's office and walked in and said, I want a recommendation for grad school. And he looked at me and said, well, yes, sir. What is your name? So I can write it right here, right now. And I said, my name is Jean DeFlo. And Dr. Rapp wrote me that letter and I stormed out of his office. And it was right then that I decided I would fight so that gender inequality would be a thing of the past. It was then I realized that I could shapeshift at will. I could transition between different genders and ages and change my appearance if I just focused long enough. And I started wondering, where did I get this power? And at night, I started having these dreams and flashing back to my time in elementary school and myself crying in the mirror and seeing that glimpse of myself as a boy. And that's when I decided to look up my school. I had only gone there in kindergarten and first grade, so I did some Google searching and pulled up my school, looked at the satellite view, and that's when I saw that the areas around my school were all censored. Google wouldn't let you see what was there. So I did some research, and that's when I realized my school was right next to a top secret laboratory where scientists were creating a synthetic element, meitnerium, which is highly unstable and only appears in a vaporous form. And that was when I realized that as I ran from the playground into the school, that vapor I ran through, it must have been meitnerium, and it seeped into the cut on my nose and got into my bloodstream and forever changed my DNA. And that was when I realized I could harness the power of meitnerium in my blood and shapeshift and become Jen DeFlo, a superhero who would fight against gender inequality. Yo soy Jen DeFlo.